Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to seal this sole plate to the concrete and I'm going to use Zip Systems liquid flashing. It's not really made for doing this. Well, I guess it is. It is a flashing, and basically I'm flashing that sole plate down to the concrete. What I got to do is make a nice waterproof seal all the way around except for at the house. And this stuff is extra strong and extra flexible. So as the wood moves a little bit and the concrete moves a little bit, I'm guessing that it's not going to crack and fall apart like most caulks will. And I got some info on it right here. It's a liquid applied flashing membrane made of STPE, and that is cilial terminated polyether technology. I don't know if I got that right or not, but sounds pretty impressive. But it sticks to just about any building material that you would have. So I'm thinking this is going to do an overkill job in this situation. So what I am going to do, I'm going to have to clear out here and over there, but I'm going to go around and vacuum real well along the whole thing, maybe 6 inches out. Then I got some Mr. Clean and some hot water. I'm going to scrub the whole thing all the way around and then let it dry. The instructions on this say that it works well on damp materials, but I'm going to let it dry really well. Then I'm going to apply it like a bead and then take something and just smooth it. Hopefully not my finger. I'm thinking a popsicle stick should work if I can find one of those. I'll find something though. And I believe that should do it for me. So to get started, I'm going to move that stuff and then I'm going to get vacuuming. Okay, we got another step here. You can see that the sill sealer is squeezing out in some areas. It's not there in most of the areas, but some like this, it's squeezing out way too much, and I don't want to put that flashing onto that. So I think I'm just going to bring a razor knife with me when I'm doing the cleaning, when I'm scrubbing this stuff, and slice that out of there. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm going to work my way all the way around with this Mr. Clean, scrub it up nice and well, and then I'm going to change out the water, get some fresh water, and then scrub it with that just to rinse it. And then I will take my utility towels and dry it. Then I'm going to have to crank up the heat in here and let everything dry up. Like I said, this stuff can be applied over damp materials, but the drier and cleaner it is, the better it's going to stick. All right, let's get this scrubbed up. Okay, I'm all done with the scrubbing. Now I gotta go find a nice big sponge, and I'll dump this water out, fill it all the way up with nice clean water, and then rinse this whole thing. Get it nice and clean. Look at how dirty that water is. That's just from dipping this brush into the water. I mean, it doesn't hold any water, so yeah, this is pretty dirty. So I'm gonna have to rinse this real well. Let's change out this water and go find a sponge somewhere. Okay, I got about a half a bucket full of nice clean water, and I got a variety of sponges here. I think I'm just going to try this one. It's got a real nice gritty side, and then a side that's just a sponge. What I want to do is just scrub it just a little bit to loosen up any of the cleaner that I got on there, and then use the other side, the sponge side, to soak it all up. In the end, I want this as dry as possible. Then I'll go around with the towel and get it really, really dry. And then I'm going to have to let it air dry the rest of the way. But you can see where I started. It's already drying up, and I used a lot of water, so shouldn't take too long. But this part will actually take a while, so let's get going. Okay, I am halfway around the room, and that's the color of my rinse water. I'm going to go dump this and change it, and then get the other half done. Alright, all done. That's bucket 2. Starting to dry a little bit over here, but I think I'm going to put a fan on and turn the heater on, and maybe I'll be able to get this flashing on today. It's fairly wet in this area. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, it's been a couple hours. It's getting dark out there, and you can see that even though the floor is drying out here, it's kind of seeping back out from underneath the sill. So what I'm going to do is move this fan. I just turned it off so I could record a little bit. I'm going to move the fan around the room and just blast it right at the wall in certain spots. And I'm going to do that until tomorrow. And then I think I'm going to grab my heat gun. That'll dry it real quick. Then when this is really nice and dry, I'll apply the flashing. Okay, it is the next day, and this is about as dry as it's going to get. Yeah, I don't think there's any places where there's moisture seeping out. I moved this around a bunch of times last night, and this morning I got it on that last spot that just had a tiny little bit of dampness. And you can see from the bare footprint, I went outside to get some wood in my bare feet. Okay, let me show you how I'm going to do this. This is my plan. I have a tongue depressor from my daughter. This is the sole plate right here. It has slightly rounded edges. Then there's the sill sealer is underneath that, and in most places it's a little bit back. And then this is how I want to get the stuff on there. I'm going to use this to kind of push it back in there, and hopefully I'll have enough on there so I can spread it up onto the wood a bit and out onto the concrete a bit. If I press too hard with this and it's just like a rounded edge, it's not going to have enough contact to really stay there. So I don't want to have it like super neat and a little cove down there. I want to kind of smooch it onto the wood and onto the concrete a little bit like that. I've never worked with this stuff before. I've never even seen it in real life, so hopefully all goes well. Okay, I got it on. I couldn't film a whole lot because I had to move pretty quickly. This skins over in about 30 minutes, and I don't know, it probably took me 20 minutes to get all the way around the room, but then I had to go back at it with the tongue depressor, and I had a perfect amount of time, but I just went back and checked, and it's starting to skin over. at the very beginning. So this is 20, 40, 56 feet, and I put out about a 1/4 inch bead all the way around, and then went back with a tongue depressor, and everything went just perfect. It wasn't too dry in any place, and the stuff is really nice to work with. I certainly wouldn't want to get this stuff on me. If you get it on your hands, it cleans right up with lacquer thinner. It says in the instructions that the cleanup is with mineral spirits or similar solvent, and lacquer thinner is a similar solvent, just a little bit less oil in it, and it's a bit more powerful. It comes right off your hands and right off the floor with lacquer thinner. And my impressions of it so far, it appears to be sticking really well. It's not peeling back in any spot. It's going to take a while to dry. They say 4 hours in 70 degrees and 50% humidity. It's a bit cooler than that. It's probably 55, 60 in here, and I don't think the humidity's that high. It's fairly high because it was wet in here yesterday, and all I did was dry stuff with the fan, so that moisture is in the air. So I'm going to guess it's going to take about 6 hours, maybe 8 hours to dry. So I'll just keep the door closed out here, turn the heater back on, leave the fan off, but that should do it. I'll come back and revisit this in a few hours. I'm going to run over and get some stuff done in the shed right now, but that's it. Yeah, it appears to be a really good product for this, even though they don't mention it in any of their videos or anything. Some areas I got a little more than others, but it got a good coating all the way around, and a little bit extra. I just went around the corner because I had more than enough. Probably should have filled in that bolt hole, but oh well. Yeah, and like I said, with the tongue depressor, I smushed it into the opening and then up onto the wood and down onto the concrete, so it has a good amount of purchase on both. So this should be an awesome seal once it's dried up. And like the instructions say, it'll work on damp surfaces. So if this is slightly damp, which concrete generally is, it's still going to work. All right, I'm going to get on to some other stuff, and we'll come back and look at this in a couple hours. All right, I've been working elsewhere for the last 5 hours, and this is not quite dry yet. I didn't really think it was going to be. It's a little cooler than they want it in here. Not much, but it's a little cooler, and the humidity isn't 50% like they're looking for. Those are pretty optimal conditions. So I'm going to leave the heater on out here overnight, and we'll revisit this on a different video. Probably when I do the wine. I'm going to be out here for that, so I'll show it to you then. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.